My next guest is in the house, and it is none other than Bessie Mikelsons. It is part of Health Week this week, and if you're curious about why Bessie would be on the show, well, stick around because we're going to have a chat to her about her journey with health over the next 30 minutes. And this is a live show. If you would like to ask Bessie any questions, you are more than welcome, as long as they are respectful. I'll pass them on. Bessie can't see the chat, but she can see what's going on, and hopefully she can see my face. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
Yeah, doing all right. I look a bit tired this morning, but that's okay.
Oh, that's tired. I love it when you're looking great. You know, the people go, "Oh, look at me, I look so shabby." Do you want me to say that do you look great?
My eyes look really small when I'm tired, so if you can't see my eyeballs, that's why.
It's kind of a McEwen thing, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
A bit of if Kate's listening, I think Kate's got the smallest eyes out of everyone. Hey, but thanks for joining us. And how have you been?
Not bad.
Not bad?
We just got back from a family holiday the other day, so that was pretty nice.
Oh, nice. Where'd you go?
Yeah. Sorry?
Where'd you go?
We went up to Lake Boga, which is near Swan Hill.
Lake Bogans?
Boga.
Oh, Boga. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, great. That would have been lovely. Were you on the Murray? Were you near the water?
Well, we were at the lake, so there was water there.
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't go up to the Murray. We just stayed at the lake. My uncle has a boat, so we, water ski and stuff.
Interesting. You're going to be wittier than me, I think, already by this conversation. I know, there's a lake. I didn't think that there might be not a river, but a lake. Excellent. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, but you do a little bit of studying at the moment, and tell us why. Yeah, tell us a little bit about your health journey, and we'll go from there.
Okie dokie.
You don't have to say it like a full. You don't have to say it like a presentation, but maybe I should ask you a question. How did you get? What are you studying? You're studying like full health stuff. You're studying. I haven't. Why haven't I written it down? Oh, what are you studying? Middle Eastern studies. That's epic.
Yeah. So I just finished my Bachelor of Arts, majoring in history and Middle East studies.
Yeah. Why Middle East studies? Middle East. I didn't even know that's a subject.
Yeah, neither did I. Pretty random. So I wanted to do a Bachelor of Arts because I wanted to study history. And then I had to pick a second major. And I did one lecture of international relations, so I was going to do that. And then I decided that it was boring. And then I switched to Middle East studies, and it was really good.
You got a lot of historians in your life. Is that? Do you think that's how? Historians, that's a bit of an epic word. It's a big label, but a lot of people in your life that I know love history. Is that what got you into history?
I'm not really sure. I kind of didn't really realise that I liked it that much until I started it at uni. And then I kind of, now that I know that I like it, like kind of looking back, I kind of am like, oh yeah, I've kind of been interested in it for my whole life. And I think probably because lots of people that I know are interested in it and would have talked to me about it, that probably made a difference. Yeah,
nice. And look, the reason I've got you as part of Health Week is you've had to really dig deep, probably a lot more than most people in regards to your health. I did introduce you a little bit earlier before you probably woke up, saying that you were in a life-threatening situation. Is that safe to say that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is that a brutal way of talking about it? I guess it's a reality. You were.
It would have been the case if I hadn't have gotten treatment. It would have been life-threatening.
Yeah. When were the first signs that you weren't well? And you were right in the start of uni. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it actually started when I was still at school. So just as I started BCE, so year 11, I got really itchy on my legs, which is a weird symptom. So that was the first thing where I was like, this is weird.
Yeah. I'm guessing a lot more than a Mozzie bite.
Yeah, it was very strange. And because I've always had eczema on the backs of my hands, I thought it might have been eczema related, and lots of doctors thought it might have been eczema related. So it kind of started then, at the start of year 11, trying to figure out what was wrong with my skin. And then kind of as time went on, the itchiness spread to just be everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. So where did you go to? What did you head towards? Did you go see a naturopath? Who do you go see when you're itchy? Other than did you go to a standard doctor?
Yeah, so we just went to a GP. I
What'd
think
they
we went
say?
to a few different GPs. And I got lots of different, like, creams and ointments and stuff to put on it. Over time, because it was 3 years between when I was itchy and when I was diagnosed with Hodgkins. Like, I saw heaps of different doctors. I saw a couple of different skin specialists. I went to a couple of different naturopaths. And tried, different creams, different diets, because lots of skin stuff is really diet related.
Right.
So I tried lots of different, like, eating plans. What else did we do? I did light treatment, which is like you stand in kind of like a one of those tanning bed things.
Oh, yeah.
Except it's standing up. So you go in like this little box and it has UV lights and it zaps you. And it's supposed to help with skin, but it actually made mine worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
So we tried lots of different stuff over the course of 3 years. And during that, I was doing VCE and then the start of uni. So it was pretty full on because I had lots of doctor's appointments and lots of, my health was just getting worse and worse. So that was pretty hard.
How long do you try these new things? Like, when's the time? So you're trying lots of things. Do you just say, this is not working? Or do you say, when do you go, okay, it's not working now, but I'm just going to hang in there for another, I don't know, 2 months? One day, what do you, or unbearable? This is unbearable. Or do you personally, physically know? Go, this is definitely not working. I don't care what the doctor says to do this for 2 weeks. I'm not. This is not working. Get me another one. Was there all kinds of those kind of conversations going on?
Yeah, it definitely was hard because it's like it hasn't fixed it yet, but maybe if I keep going, it'll fix it. Like some things, like the light treatment, that had a specific amount of time because if you do it for too long, I think it's bad for you. But like things like different diets, it was kind of like, I don't know, like one diet that I did, the eczema diet, helped a bit. Like it made me a little bit less itchy. And if I ate something that wasn't on the diet, I would notice that I'd get itchier. So I did that for 8 months because it was the only thing that helped a little bit. So it didn't help completely, but it helped a little bit. And so that was one where it was like, I feel like I should just keep doing it because it's not making it completely better, but it is helping and nothing else is. So yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And so very quickly, so things didn't progress at all over the 3 years before you got diagnosed? Was there some golden days where you thought, I've got this? Was it just just no control?
Not really. Like there was some days where I was itchier than others, and I did come to notice that it was like I'd be itchier if I ate more sugar and stuff. So like the eczema diet had very little sugar. So there were definitely better days, but it got progressively worse. Like it would wake me up at nighttime because I was so itchy, and I had a loft bed, so it was up high and had railings around it. And I would just rub my feet on the end of my bed because they were so itchy and I couldn't itch them with my hands because the itch was internal. And so I would give myself blisters and I wore down the wood on the end of the bed, and I'd have to get up and run water on my feet in the middle of the night because they would get hot. So then they would get itchy, and then I wasn't sleeping very well and my immune system was really bad. So I got sick a lot. I got swine flu. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Tick that one off. Tick that off, old swine.
Right before my year 12 exams, so that was pretty rough.
Oh, far out. I know you can't pick and choose when you have your worst battles, but that's school. 2 things I can relate to: school being a battle and itchy toes. I had tinea, something chronic, and I'm not saying we're in the same boat here because itchy all over your body is another world, but I do know like that. I think everyone can relate a little bit to itchiness not going away. And I remember rubbing my feet like crazy because it got so bad that you end up like going down to sores, and then you're treating it, and it's the worst. Like it's just really distracting and annoying, and it affects your sleep. That'd have been so hard. How'd you go in school? Did you do well still?
Yeah, I did okay. I would have liked to have done a little bit better. Yeah, good. But
impressive.
Considering, I think I did okay. But yeah, it was hard because it was pretty distracting because I was itchy all the time. And then after doing the light treatment, I got massive sores. Not massive, but there were sores all over me, like little scabs. Right. And then because I was itchy, I'd scratch them accidentally and then they would bleed and they wouldn't heal. And so they were mostly on my legs, but all over my arms and on my face as well. And that was hard at school just because I looked weird. And people would be like, what's wrong with you? Do you have chicken pox?
Hey, Bessie,
that was hard.
I've just got to tell you, I'm so I don't know, thankful that you're on here. I don't know how it is to say these things. I mean, yeah. You mentioned how difficult it is at school. I just really appreciate you being on today, talking about things that have a stigma around them, or ooh, people might But anyway, you've got a good supportive crew that are listening today, so I really appreciate you coming on today, talking about things that it's not nice. It's not like woohoo. It's just hard. So thanks. Yeah. Okay. So things aren't working. You're getting sores, and you hadn't touched your skin yet, and you're getting sores. 3 years just sitting there going, I'm tired. What's next? Tell us what. And then what happened? And then why didn't any of those doctors over 3 years pick up on something, or did cancer not? Was that not birthed yet? Or does everyone ignore it? Did you get tests for that years earlier?
Well, the thing is, my mum had Hodgkins when she was in her early 20s, so when I was a baby. And Hodgkins is not hereditary.
Wow.
So pretty early on, mum said to at least one doctor, but I think a couple, she said, I know that itching is a symptom of Hodgkins. Do you think she could have Hodgkins? And the doctors said, no, it's not hereditary. And so I don't think they ever tested for it.
Wow. Not hereditary. Did that not make sense? You go, I don't care if it's hereditary or not. Just check.
Yeah. So it's not hereditary, but since finding out that I had it, apparently they say that it clusters in families. So it's not hereditary, but it clusters in families. So I don't know what the difference is.
What's the difference?
But they didn't test for it because I don't know if it's because of that or because they just didn't think that I had it. But they didn't test for that.
Okay. So you get the words. Can I ask, how did you find out? I'm just probably annoyingly interested in getting
how I found out that I had cancer.
Yeah, I just get scared about the word. Was it scary?
Actually, by that point, it really wasn't.
Right.
By that point, I was so desperate to find out what was wrong with me. It was actually almost a relief, because it was obviously scary to find out that it was cancer, but because I found out that it was Hodgkin's and I knew that mum had had it and survived, it was still scary, but I knew that the chances of survival were really high. And I was just had gotten to the point where I was like, I just want them to figure out what it is because they can't fix it until they know what it is. So yeah, it was actually a bit of a relief, but yeah, still massive and scary as well.
Yeah, the words, it's not the greatest word to hear. But so were you already on a diet plan that was working? Did much change? What shifted from that day going, all right, now we know what it is, let's go?
So I had been on I get a bit confused. I did lots of different diets, so it's hard to remember. I think leading up to when I found my cancer, I was on a no sugar diet. I think that's right. So I'd been at uni the year, in 2015, I started uni and then took the second half of 2015 off. So I only did one semester because I was too sick and I was like, I'll take the second semester off, try and figure out what's wrong with me, get better, and then go back. So I was I'd been seeing a doctor and a naturopath over the summer and I'd been on a no sugar diet and I was getting ready to go back to uni because I hadn't figured out what was wrong. And I was like, this might just be what my life is now and I have to just get on with it. I can't sit around waiting to get better if I'm not going to get better. And then I found a lump at the base of my neck one day. So there's a little hollow between your collarbones.
Yeah.
And I felt that and I was like, that's not a hollow, that's a lump. And so then I went to the doctor.
And?
Yeah, so then I had to go get an ultrasound and then a CAT scan. And then it was kind of, at the ultrasound, they started being a bit funny. And mum kind of was like, we were both a bit
tell
like,
me,
this doesn't sound good.
why's the room gone quiet? What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But yeah, room quiet in a hospital with doctors is not the same as someone doing something silly next to you. That's frightening.
Yeah.
Tell me. Oof. Yeah. Okay. What's your take as someone in a world that probably most of us probably won't get to experience, getting diagnosed with cancer and already going through itchiness and things? What's your take on, and this is not a political statement to say stuff the pharmacies, but that balance of quick fix versus average long-term recovery. plant-based diets, synthetic versus natural. Where do you stand with that, and what's worked for you?
Well, it's kind of hard because like I see like both have worked for me. Like in the lead up to finding out that I had cancer, the things that worked the best were like more long-term things like diets. It didn't get rid of it, but it helped with the symptoms more than like, a cream that I rubbed on my skin or the light box treatment. And I think as well, it's hard because those were treatments for something that I didn't have. So they might work really well for other people. But for me, the diet stuff worked best when I didn't know what it was. But then once I knew what it was, I had chemo, and that is medicine. And that worked. So.
And did you keep your diet going through chemo? Or is just chemo the boss and you got to just, you're zapped?
Yeah, I originally was like, Mum was really like, we should try and eat really healthy. And I was like, that's a good idea because I'm going to get really sick from chemo. And so I should try and put good things into my body. And once chemo started, it was like, I didn't feel like eating most of the time. And so the nurses at the hospital said as well, if you feel like eating something, you kind of just should eat it because otherwise you might not eat.
Right.
Yeah, which was kind of fun, but yes, like I ate a lot of potato cakes.
Oh, wow. Why potato cakes? It's hilarious.
I'm not sure. I think I craved salty food a lot because chemo mucks up like your taste buds, so I couldn't taste a lot of things. And so I think just because potato cakes are really salty, I could actually taste them.
Yeah, right.
That is what I wanted all the time.
Are you still on the potato cake train?
I still like them. I don't eat them as much as I did then because they're not good for you and I should probably eat other stuff.
Yeah. And that's great. And how's your health now?
Yeah, I've been in remission for just over 4 years now. So that's really good. So I get a checkup every 6 months, I think it is at the moment. So they kind of get further and further apart. So I had my last checkup in November and my bloods were all clear. And so doing well in remission, but I've still got a few like ongoing side effects from the chemo that haven't gone away yet. So it looks like they're kind of long term. Hopefully they'll go away eventually, and they are slowly getting better. So just I'm really tired all of the time. Tired probably isn't a good word for it. Fatigued, I guess. Okay. So that's the big one. And then there are a couple of other smaller ones, like my concentration isn't great and my memory's not great. And I have a really dry mouth. Apparently chemo gets rid of your saliva.
Wow. Wow, that's whack. Hey, so when you say fatigue and tired, you changed it. What do you mean by that?
Well, I feel like if I say that I'm tired, people like
you can't go to sleep. Can you go to? Do you feel like going to sleep, or do you just feel like lying horizontal on the couch?
Yeah,
and stay awake
kind
though.
Of lying horizontal. Like people, it's kind of hard to explain because you use the same words like I feel tired as someone who's like, oh, I went to bed late last night. Now I'm tired, which definitely is still tired, but it's just a different kind of tired where I probably could sleep a lot of the time, but it's not really I need to have a nap and then I'll feel better kind of tired. It's just I'm always tired, and so I have to rest a lot.
When do you feel the best?
In the morning.
Oh, good.
Like I like to. Yeah.
Right now.
So this is great.
Gotcha.
Perfect timing.
Gotcha at the best. The best.
Yeah, mornings are pretty good, especially like I usually try to get up and then exercise straight away, and that kind of helps to wake me up a bit. Like I'm tired all the time, but that helps me to feel a little bit less tired at the start of the day.
Oh, someone just said I've spelt your name wrong. Mikelsons. I wrote Mikelsons.
Oh, you did? You wrote Mikelsons. I didn't even notice that.
I changed that. Jano, the excellent person who loves detail. This is the worst.
I wasn't even looking at that. That's funny.
Watch me change it. Cool. Hey, so do you have issues with weather? And I'm only using this because we've got someone who has, there we go, changed. How's that sound? We have Daz, who comes on this show and has got, what's he got? It's so silly. I've completely blanked out. Daz has What's he got? Help me out, someone. MS. He's got MS. He's got MS. He's got MS. He's got MS. And struggles to go outside in 35 degrees, as we all do, but let's not call it the same thing. He can't even go out. He hates going out on 24 degrees. And it's just everything gets triggered. Do you have those kind of similar things? Do your symptoms get triggered differently by weather patterns? Is hay fever even anything to you, considering you've had yonky years of complete itchiness to another degree? How does your body go through kind of seasons? Like, is it the same as all of us?
I think it's just normal. Haven't noticed any difference from the weather. I don't get hay fever, which is very nice. My dad and my sister do, and they struggle in spring. So I'm very glad I don't. But weather doesn't seem to affect it too much. I haven't noticed a pattern to do with weather.
Having your mum on board it would have been very encouraging, like you said, her going through the same thing. What worked for both of you in terms of diet and procedures, steps to take? Did she have some really good, helpful things? Go, look, try this, and it worked. Like, is it same disease, if you call it that, same response?
Our experiences are pretty different because my cancer was more advanced than hers. And so also our treatments were different. So I had chemo and she had radiation. So the side effects are different. So there were lots of things that were similar, like, we both lost our hair and stuff. But lots of the side effects and the sicknesses that you get from the treatment are a little bit different. But we both saw naturopaths while we were sick, and that is something that both of us found pretty helpful, I think. Yeah.
I've got a question here. Were you reluctant to get chemo when you found out, given the side effects?
No, not really at that point. I think at that point, I don't think it was really an optional thing. Like, I know of people who, if you find it really early, if you change your diet and stuff, you can deal with it that way. But my cancer was pretty big by the time they found it, because it was behind my rib cage. So I didn't find it until it was pushing my thyroid up into my neck. So it was like, I think it was about that long down in here. And I think there was a bit in my neck as well. So by the time they found it, it was big enough that I wasn't going to be able to get rid of it by myself. And so I wasn't excited about the prospect of doing chemo, and I knew it was going to be pretty horrible, but I wanted to get rid of the cancer. So chemo was rough. I would have preferred not to have had to do it.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't really have a choice.
Potato cakes are medicine, Jano reckons.
Yeah.
Just add that to one of the diets you've chosen. Anyone on the potato cakes diet, how would you explain that? Just, you got to constantly eat potato cakes, lots of salt. Yeah. In particular, the milk bar over the road from the hospital.
Yeah.
So people just went on. That would have been so funny. That shop. Where'd you get potato cakes from whenever you wanted them in hospital?
Well, I didn't usually get them at the hospital, because usually when I was actually having chemo, I didn't feel like eating. So it was usually the day I had chemo and maybe a day or two afterwards, I didn't really feel like eating that much. And then a couple of days after chemo, then I would start wanting potato cakes. And so I would send someone to the servo.
Have you got your intel in where makes the best potato cakes in your region?
Yeah, the fish and chip shop down the road from us makes pretty good potato cakes.
Yeah. And if that's shut, where do you go next?
Well, there is a servo just kind of up the end of the street, and they're okay. So we go there sometimes.
What do you look for in a good potato cake?
It's not too dry and not too oily.
Sounds like a peanut butter ad. I think there was a peanut butter ad in the 80s. Not too dry, not too oily.
Yeah, perfect.
I do love a potato cake. That's interesting. And so what kind of diets are you doing now? Now that you're in remission, so congratulations for congratulations in order. Good on you for sticking around and your courage to take. And it's clearly your courage. The way you are is a huge reason why you are here and fit and well. And what kind of things are you dieting now? And even though you might not need them as much, is there things that have stuck around that you really love?
Yeah, so I'm not on a specific diet at the moment, but I'm still seeing a naturopath. And so she talks to me about my diet a lot. So I try to eat protein, good fats, and color with every meal.
Color? What do you mean?
And like vegetables that have color in them.
Yeah, right.
Healthy.
Right.
That's what she says. She says good fats, protein, and color.
Yeah, right.
So, sometimes I'm more slack on that than other times, but I try to, because I also notice a big difference when I eat better. I notice that I feel like I have more energy and I feel better going about my day. So I try to stick with that, but, comes and goes.
And somehow Jano here, and Josh as well is here, and yet she dominated her VCE studies. You are a warrior and a legend. And Jano, somehow she manages to excel at uni and be socially active. That is the most impressive thing. And I mean, we're all spectators, most of us are, other than your mum and maybe some other listeners here, I'm not sure. But I just don't, sometimes I think we always seem to go, I can't believe how you did that. How did you do that? But then we're not in it. But I guess when you're in it, you got only a couple of really choices. Like, do you want to kind of head one way, or do you want to? We naturally seem to battle it, don't we? Is that your? Are you surprised about your own courage and energy and fight and what you can do? Like, if
I don't know. Like, it's hard because I guess I'm so close to the situation.
Yeah,
it's hard to see it from other people because I don't. It's one of those things where people are often like, "Oh, you were so brave, did so well," and I was like, I kind of just sat in a chair and let them stick poison in me. Like I didn't do much. So I feel like I kind of just did. Like I don't. It's hard because I don't feel like I was particularly brave or anything. Like I think
What about school? Like, what about times where school, like, right now I don't want to do this, but I want it. Those moments. Do you remember lots of moments where you just like, it's a micro moment maybe for everyone else, but you're just, this is ridiculous that I still want to go. I don't want to go today, but what's your answer to that? What did you say to yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's like everyone has days that they don't want to go. I guess it just, when I was at school, because I still didn't know what was wrong with me, it was more of you just have to get on with it and do it because I didn't have an answer and I didn't know if that was just what life was going to be like now. So I just was like, I can't sit around waiting for it to go away if it's not going to go away. So I just had to keep doing it. But like, since I was diagnosed and sick, like, I think I probably give myself a little bit more leniency. Like, if I'm really tired today, maybe I will just do nothing and have a rest because I need it. But yeah, I think it is because I am obviously with myself all the time. It's a weird way of putting it. But like, I guess people who don't live with me maybe don't see it as much, but I don't think that I've been brave or anything. Like, I'm pretty pathetic and I cry a lot. But I do that at home where people can't see me.
Well, that's all right. At least you are crying. So we talk about crying a bit on this show because there seems to be tears. Tears do pop in more frequently than probably other radio stations. I would say that. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to cry, and I'm sure you would have needed to many times through your battle for various reasons, whether just be overworked or just completely scared or overwhelmed. It's just been crazy. We've been crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think crying is just my stress response. Also, I'm half McEwen, and everyone in the McEwen family cries about everything. And I've got that gene really strongly. So, And it doesn't help that I cry more when I'm tired, and I'm tired all the time. Yeah. So, yeah.
And are you saying that Brett averages that out a bit?
Yeah, he's not a big crier.
Bit of a tough.
I think I've only seen him cry a couple of times.
Oh, right. And we've got another, and there are lots of people praying for Bessie. Yes, there was. There was a day that Bess almost had to be carried into hospital for chemo. Serious?
Is that Mum? Is she dobbing me in?
Well, maybe. It might be. It might be someone called Alex Mick online, maybe.
Yeah, she came into my room that morning and was like, you have to get up. We have to go to chemo. And I was like, nope, I'm not going. I'm not doing it. I'm sick of it. And she was like, well, you have to go. And yeah, no, I was very reluctant to go to chemo that day.
I imagine myself going through situations like you did, or even on the deathbed, which I sadly think about a lot. Just scarily think about a lot sometimes. And I just think I don't think I would do it gracefully. I just felt I've got a very strong feeling that I'm going to go down kicking and screaming I'm going to be an absolute problem. I just genuinely do. I think I'm going to go, no, this is the worst. Everyone, just help me. And I'm going to break down.
Yeah, well, I was definitely like that quite a lot. And that morning at chemo, I was like, I'm not going. You can't make me. I'm staying home. Beautiful. I've had enough.
Alice Young, beautiful, strong, courageous young woman. Many blessings to you, Bessie. Hey, tell us a little bit before we go about your naturopath. Give her a shout out. And I tried to get a hold of her. I think it's what's her name?
Lindsay Ingleton.
Yeah, Lindsay. I'm going to try a bit harder to get a hold of her, but tell her about her brilliance and her effect on your recovery and journey.
Yeah. So she has been amazing. I haven't actually seen her for a bit because she stopped practicing for a little bit to do some study.
All right.
But I'm going back to see her soon. So she has been amazing. And I've been seeing her since before I was diagnosed. So she's kind of been there for the whole thing, which has been really good because she knows, what, like, that I've been chemo, and she knows what I've been going through the whole time. So it's been really helpful to have a person consistently there just to, so she knows what's been happening, and then she's able to kind of give me supplements and vitamins and stuff that really help. And so I'm on naturopath remedies at the moment, and they really help with the fatigue and also with like brain function, so with concentrating and stuff. And it definitely doesn't take it away, but I feel the difference heaps if I run out or forget to take them. I really feel the difference. So it's so good. And she's really good as well with talking about diet and how that can help build up your energy levels. And she's been amazing.
Does she in particular deal with people that have had cancer?
I don't think so. I think she's just a general naturopath. But she was amazing for me. I found her so helpful.
So is there a problem with you've got poor memory sometimes that you forget to take the medicine? Forget to take your pills?
Rats. I just have gotten to the point where I've just set a reminder on my phone otherwise I forget.
Of course. Yeah, what's this? What's this about? Mum, what's this about? What's going on here? Why are these tablets? Yeah. Where are they? Where are they? Go get them.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Bessie, I'm incredibly impressed. I haven't spoken to you enough over your 24 year journey. 24, 23? 24 year journey. But you're just too close to not be loving you. And thanks heaps for coming on today. And bravely, I know you don't get it. But it is you taking a time to expose or be transparent in these. It gives other people strength. So I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on. It's been fun.
Oh, good. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Are you going to go to sleep now?
No, I'm awake now.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be up by now anyway. I'm a morning person.
All right. And say hello to your lovely family. And I think I'm catching up with you sometime this week, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But it'd be nice. We can talk
See you then.
All right. Thanks, Bessie.
Thank you. See you later.
See ya.